Hello, ladies, gentlemen, everyone in between and beyond. My name is Taylor, and welcome back to the third episode of the OverAchievers podcast, Ashen123. Joining me, as per usual, and amazingly, is the guy who decided to do this whole thing with me, Jon.
Yay, John!
Yay, Jon.
Yes. Thanks for having me
So,
again.
thanks for being on here, man, and thanks for doing this whole thing with me.
Yeah.
So, something listeners that Jon doesn't know that he's about to find out
Uh-oh.
live on camera,
Uh-oh.
quote unquote, is that this series, like us playing Dark Souls, was actually the reason for me making this podcast.
Really?
Yeah, so it started out with me just getting all achievements on just, a couple of games here or there, and then I finally got around to Dark Souls, and I put a message in our group chat between Jon, Chris, and and I was like, hey, do you guys want to do this? Chris was kind of out, which I figured. I figured Jon was going to be like, nah, I'm good. But he surprisingly said yes.
Just like instantly, I was like, yes, I want to do it. And you're like, what?
Yeah, I was genuinely shocked. I thought he was just not going to do it, not going to go for it. And it's been a hell of a lot of fun.
Yeah, it was great. I'm looking forward to being able to do Dark Souls 2 with you at some point in the future.
Yeah, this is a call to action from Soft. Please fix your servers so we can do Dark Souls 2. We've done 1 and 3. We need to do 2.
It's funny, like, I guess, like, we could have done 2, like, at any point, but we'd miss out on doing it together, which has kind of been the point of playing the Dark Souls games and getting all achievements together.
Yeah, and I think, at least for me personally, and people who have been with the Noiseberry Games channel way back when Chris and I first joined, are going to know that it wasn't our first game that we ever played together. That was Overwatch, and my mic was actual audible cancer.
I think both of yours was bad.
Yeah. But honestly, I don't know if I'd have the same relationship with Jon and Chris that I do if it wasn't for Dark Souls, because we worked together over the summers, and they asked me, it's like, after we played Overwatch, hey, have you ever played Dark Souls? And I had tried it out, and it wasn't for me, and they said, just get Dark Souls 3, we'll play it together, it'll be a lot of fun. And my life has genuinely never been the same since. So for me to have tried to do this alone, I don't think would have held the same emotional weight behind it. And I honestly could not be more thankful to Jon and Chris for A, introducing me to this game series, B, being some of the closest friends I've had over the last almost decade at this point. God, I feel old. And for Jon agreeing to go on this journey with me.
Man. Yeah, I kind of feel the same. Like, I never attempted to do all achievements in these before, and I like you said, I think doing it solo, it would not have had the same impact as doing it with you, because these are, like, very integral games to us. We've been playing them for 6 years or something at this point.
Oh god, don't remind me.
Honestly, like 2016 or something was our first series, I think. I always forget. I can never remember the actual year.
All of our Dark Souls series will be linked in the description down below, as well as the Noiseberry Games channel. Please understand, these series are near and dear to our hearts because, like, Chris and Jon play this stuff alone. That's what they like to do. That's fine. I could never get into it solo. I've mostly only played with them. So for me, it wouldn't have felt right doing it on my own.
Yeah, I feel that. I agree. Yeah.
So Jon, I gotta ask, how long, or rather, what made you decide to just go, yeah, you know what, let's go for all achievements, before I had asked the question? Like, what made you just go, yes, let's do this?
Like, go, yes, instantly. I mean, I've played Dark Souls 3 a lot. It's my most played Dark Souls game. We'll get to time eventually. And, like, after the first few playthroughs, I looked at the achievements, and I was like, oh, that most of them aren't too bad. Getting all pyromancies and sorceries might be okay. I'll have a look at it. And I looked it up, and in order to get most of those, acquire all of whatever achievements, you have to play multiple new games of, and they're not exactly the easiest to find. Some of them are some of the spells are very obscure on how to do them. And I would just look up the achievements and just close the tab and be like, nope, not doing it this time. Just gonna do another playthrough. And I would do that 3 or 4 times. I'd be like, maybe I can do the achievements this time. I'd look it up and say, no, I'm not bothering. Then
that's what I don't understand, because you've played it with, actually, how many characters have you made at this point?
It's hard to tell, because I don't know if you remember, but I lost a good chunk of my Dark Souls save data because it was before it had Steam Cloud support.
Oh, right. I forgot about
Yeah,
that.
like my PC died, like yours did recently. My PC died several years ago, and I lost like the very first character I made, our first playthrough character, uh, the the
Oh,
the
no.
immortal ogre Pyroman was lost to time.
Oh, God.
So I've estimated I've had at least 13 characters. That's across solo playthrough, playing with you guys, modded playthrough, randomizer playthroughs. It's a lot.
Yeah, it sounds like it. How many hours do you have in the game overall right now?
Right now I have 476.9 hours.
Sweet baby Jesus.
I've played Dark Souls 3 a lot.
For context, everyone, I have 225.4 hours. Majority of that being with Jon and Chris.
That's crazy. So yeah,
Like, you have almost double, if not more than double, what I have.
I must have just played like 200 hours of this game by myself, not in co-op.
Oh, God.
Yeah.
And so, okay, I don't have the save data because, again, my old PC, or rather my old hard drive, rest in peace, unfortunately died on me recently. How long did we spend on our all achievements characters?
Does it still not have cloud support? Like, could you not get those saves back?
I honestly didn't check. I just assumed they were gone.
I think it has cloud support now.
Oh.
But I can tell you that my character, my all achievements character, was 39 and a half hours.
Okay. So now our mileage does vary little, and we'll get into that a little later on, but I would say on average, or roughly, we played together at least 35 of those hours.
I
Maybe
don't
a
know.
little less.
I think probably a good 10 hours of that was farming.
Oh, maybe.
Yeah.
Man, and Stardew's not even coming out till episode 4. I mean, hint, hint.
Ha 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 ha. Oh. Good hint.
So, how many achievements does this game have?
So Dark Souls 3 has 43 achievements. Man, what do you think about these achievements?
I see. I don't know, like, because a lot of them is just beat this specific boss or get all of something. So whether that's the gestures, the rings, the miracles, the sorceries, the pyromancies, it feels very. It feels very all or nothing. There's no progression based achievement. It's not like, hey, you've done half of this, good job, keep going. It's like you don't get the reward until you've done absolutely everything.
Or you've done like nothing. It's like,
Oh, yeah, or you've done nothing.
You get achievements for like discovering a covenant and then nothing else.
Yeah, it's like you don't get an achievement for maxing out that covenant.
Yeah.
Although there are other rewards based around maxing out covenants that we'll get into.
Yeah, it is quite confusing. There's a lot of achievements, like 43 is a decent amount of achievements.
Yeah.
But I think the achievements are so uninspired.
Yeah, no, they really are not the best.
They're so nothing.
There's multiple for the endings, but then yeah, it's all just, hey, did you do this thing that was in the story, or did you go out of your way to get all of something?
Yeah, I don't really know what I was expecting. I don't know, just I guess something for rewarding you for playing in a specific style, I guess, is kind of what I was looking for. But yeah, like when I was going through the list, I was like, wow, these achievements are really just like by the books,
Yeah, they're very basic.
They're very like paint by numbers.
They're not creative whatsoever. And okay, so this isn't on the script, but how do you feel about the fact that the DLCs don't have achievements attached to them?
It's hard to say because I think you've talked to me before about being kind of upset when like you've 100%ed the game and then DLC comes out and it like resets your progress to like, oh, you've only got 80% of the achievements now.
Yeah, so that is gonna be our, at least hopefully if we make it that far, the year 1 special around Kingdoms of Amalur Re-Reckoning and the DLC, which added more achievements. And honestly, I was okay with that because it felt like, hey, well, okay, I was okay with it in the sense that I knew I was gonna get all achievements again, but I almost felt like they should have had a separate category to say, yes, you've got them all in the main game, but then, there's these DLC achievements.
Yeah, I wish they'd done something like a year 1 update after the last DLC had come out to kind of tweak some of the achievements, because like all pyromancies, all sorceries, you don't have to do the DLC for any of those.
All right.
There's no achievements for killing Gale, who's quite integral to the story of Dark Souls 3. or killing Frida,
Yeah.
who's one of the coolest bosses. So yeah, I am a bit disappointed that they didn't update the game to add some more achievements for the DLCs for sure.
Now, okay, with that being said, if there was an achievement that said you had to beat Midir, would you still have gotten all achievements? Like, would that have turned you away from the possibility?
No, definitely not. I mean, I don't know how much we're going to talk about like our specific characters for this, but I know like I think we both went for the most OP character build in Dark Souls 3.
Yeah.
We
I think we did.
We both did Sellsword Twin Blades, big dex build, big dex weapons, just to be as cheesy and make it as kind of smooth as possible because we knew it was going to be quite an undertaking. I think with the two of us with those builds,
boys.
we could have done Midir no problem, honestly.
Yeah, that's fair. I didn't want to put in the effort because I knew it would be however many attempts to get there.
Yeah. But yeah, if Midir had an achievement, I would 100% have done it for this.
Pun intended?
No. I had to think of what the pun was for a moment there.
We are talking about getting, all 100% of achievements.
Yeah, I get it now. I was wondering if it was another, like, the deer thing.
What?
Remember in, like, Dark Souls 2, we were talking about, like, the DLC, and you were talking about Midir, and Chris is like, what deer are you talking about? The deer?
Oh.
The deer.
Okay, moving away from that terrible memory.
It's a great memory. I don't know what you're talking about.
What were the hardest and easiest achievements for you personally?
Okay, so I'm guessing easiest will probably, I think we'll either have the same or it'll be one of two achievements.
Okay.
But my easiest was Enkindle, light a bonfire flame for the first time.
Fair enough.
What was yours?
So I went a little bit different. I don't like doing like tutorial achievements
Oh,
because
okay.
they feel a little gimme.
Right.
But I don't want to put that rule on guests. That's not fair to them.
Right.
I would say for me, Vort was one of the easiest achievements that I actually had to work for because like I know you get an achievement for Gundyr, but at the same time with Gundyr, you've only got your starting equipment. You're still potentially learning everything. By the time you get to Vort, you can already get a build going. You have had time, especially if it's your first playthrough, to learn the mechanics and try to figure things out. And Vort's just a much bigger target to get around, like to get behind. That booty be in your face.
Yeah.
So I just found he was, like, if I was looking at it from the perspective of a new player, or what I usually have the most trouble with, I think Gundyr is honestly harder to deal with than Vort.
I'd agree.
Because again, Vort's bigger. He's got, yes, a slightly bigger arena. He's a little more mobile, but at the same time, he's got less reach than Gundyr. And he's more predictable than Gundyr.
And Vort you will have leveled by that point, but Gundyr you have to...
Absolutely, exactly. So you have the ability to... You could farm levels to be like level 100 by the time you hit Vort.
You could.
Whereas you don't have the same opportunity, or at least not the same opportunity without massive like hours of grinding before Gundyr.
Yeah, definitely. Yeah, that makes sense. I don't know. I kind of like including the gimme tutorial achievements because they are just like the
fair.
easiest ones for me.
You do what you want to do, man. I ain't here to judge.
Yeah. So yeah, that one's just. Yeah, I think you light the bonfire after Gundyr and it pops.
Yeah, it does.
Or maybe it's the one right before Gundyr. I think it might be that.
No,
one.
I think it is the one after.
Okay. So the hardest achievement for me, I went for, it could have been several different ones, but I went for Master of Rings, which is where you acquire all
Really?
rings. Oh, what did you go for?
I went for, honestly, Watchdog of Farron, because the Silver Knight grinding is absolute garbage. Like, at least with the rings, you can just watch a video, you can go to an area, you can talk to an NPC, you can do whatever. You're not repeating the same bonfire, the same 2 kills, literally hundreds of times because I didn't feel like invading other players.
But that's not an achievement, though.
Oh, no, it's not, is it?
The Watchdogs...
No, what did you get from the Watchdogs of Farron? I can't remember what the reward was.
It was... God, what was it now? I'm going to have to look it up.
Okay, I put Watchdogs of Farron because I was remembering the Covenant more so than just for their reward.
Yeah. Oh, man, yeah.
Oh, like, no.
The Watchdogs of Farron achievement is literally just discovering the Covenant.
Okay, so it's not that one then.
That's like the easiest one.
That's oh no, I'm going to change my answer a few times now.
Uh-oh.
because I put it so many times.
Oh no. Okay, that's fine. It's going to
Um,
be like a little bit we'll make this up as we go. You know what? The reward for Watch Dogs of Farron is
Wait, that's not even the one I'm thinking of. What's the one where you have to kill the Silver Knights?
Pock. Sorry.
I can censor. It's fine.
What was that one? The Blade of the Dark Moon.
That's it. That's it. Okay.
Okay, so I guess for context here, some of the covenants have you have to get rank 2 with a covenant, and you have to turn in 30 of the covenant items. And for the most part, you can play online and do invasions and co-op and stuff like that to get these. Or there's certain enemies in the game that have very low chance of dropping them. Taylor and I opted for doing the offline just enemy farming tactics.
Because
and,
I hate people.
Yeah, because doing invasions and stuff where everybody's so like geared to PvP and we were very PvE focused just wouldn't be very fun for us. So we farmed a lot of these enemies a lot for these covenants, and the reward for Watch Dogs of Farron is if you turn in 30 of the items, you get the Wolf Ring, which ties into my hardest achievement, which was getting all the rings.
Yeah, we have the same hardest achievement, Master of Rings, then.
Yeah.
Oh, man, okay. Because, I remember these guys, and, some covenants are PvP based, like John was saying. Some are PvP, like, competitively, so you have to kill your opponent. Some, like, say, Sentinels of Blue, cooperative, because you can defend a player. But, man, I take issue with covenants because it's primarily a single player game with a multiplayer option. I think they did it much better in Elden Ring, but that's a whole different game entirely. But I was never a big fan of PvP or being just invaded against my will. I get you can play offline and all that jazz, but the fact that their offline option, which, you know what, praise be to them, they did put an offline option, is just so tedious and is so unwelcoming to say, hey, you can do this offline, but you're going to have to kill these same knights like 400 times with all the luck items you can find, and you're going to be pulling your hair out.
I don't know. I'm very torn on it. Normally I hate grinding, but I didn't really mind it too much in this. Like, I don't know. Should every game's all achievements be easy or like manageable? Like this was doable. Like it was a bit of a struggle, but
I wish it was about, say, half or 2/3 of what it was.
If they like increase the drop rate a little bit, because some of them were very, very low.
Yeah, like going back to Watch Dogs of Farron, the one I originally thought it was, the Swordgrass, you got 3 enemies, they were relatively easy to kill, and I think they had a higher drop rate, or it felt like they did, than the Silver Knights did for the POC.
Yeah, the proof of a Concord kept, which drops from Silver Knights, and we would just fight 2 Silver Knights on the stairs at Anor Londo. It was a much longer process fighting those, because like even at a high level, even like quite late game, they are still very difficult enemies.
Oh, absolutely. And the fact that, once you've killed the boss of that area, which we did long before we tried to do this.
Oh yeah.
We couldn't summon one another, so you're always going up alone against them. And you still run the risk of dying to them, whereas with other enemies around other covenants, again for that offline farming, are just significantly easier for no apparent reason.
Yeah, and I guess something else about the ring is like we had to time very carefully when we did this covenant farming. I think we had to do it at the end of our first new game playthrough because we wanted the enemies to be as easy as possible. I don't remember if covenant items carry over to New Game Plus.
They did carry over to New Game Plus, but
they did, yeah.
Yeah, but we were trying to keep them away from New Game Plus difficulty because we didn't feel like using up all of our summoning materials, which, are quote limited in a sense that you have to farm or get, acquire more through other means.
Yeah.
Just to try to get this one covenant item.
Yeah. So like you had to make sure you got all the new game rings you could in New Game 1, and then you had to get specific other ones in New Game Plus. So it was we had to be very methodical about how we progressed through the game. And that's like that. I don't know. That's part of why I found the all rings achievement so difficult.
Yeah, no, it was so rough.
It was stressful. Like pushing that button to go into New Game Plus. It was like, are we sure? Have we definitely got everything?
One, we were A, had overpowered builds, B, were over leveled for New Game Plus anyway.
Yeah.
Like, we went out of our way to make it as easy as possible given how much time we'd already put into this game.
Yeah, for sure.
So barring those two, what was the most fun and least fun for you?
Okay, so my most fun one is a bit of a cheaty one, but I went for the Dark Soul, which is completing all achievements, because I think that perfectly encapsulated the whole journey we were doing together.
All right.
Like I said, I thoroughly enjoyed the whole almost 40 hours we did. So when that last achievement popped and we'd done it the whole way through together, I thought that was a very special one.
That's fair. That's fair. I had a different answer. I actually went with Master of Expression because to me, it was just super interesting seeing what expression or gesture they apply to each NPC that could give you one.
Mm-hmm.
And it just really gave them a sense of individuality, from praising the sun to toasting Siegbrow to just sprawling out on the floor because you're just done with life. Like, I've been there, I get that.
Yeah, they have some really good emotes in that.
The requirements to get them being so arbitrary at times, I don't know, was just kind of like, you're petty, and your gesture just implies even more just how petty you are for me to finally get this.
Yeah, honestly, and like, I think I mentioned it in one of our Elden Ring recordings, is that I was like quite disappointed that Elden Ring didn't have the same achievement, because it's quite a fun, quite a satisfying one to go through, to collect every single gesture there is in the game.
I don't know if there's more or fewer expressions in Elden Ring than there is in Dark Souls.
I have no idea, actually. I can't even remember how many are in Dark Souls now. There's quite a lot.
I can't either. There is. I think it's 33.
Wow.
Or somewhere around there. But you start out with 10 or 12.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, it is a fun little... It's not as tricky as getting all the rings or whatever. But yeah, it is a pretty unique achievement, I guess. That's one they did a little bit differently.
Yeah, I think they did that really well. So what was the least fun for you?
My least fun one, we're going to see a little bit of a theme here, was Master of Sorceries. Acquire all the sorceries. Because I'm sure there was... this achievement was tied into the farming Silver Knights items.
Oh, yeah, it was.
Oh, was it? Maybe it was...
No, yes, no.
It was all miracles.
Yes. No, yeah, that was a miracle.
Was it Dark Moon Blade?
Yes, Dark Moon Blade was a miracle, because I looked this up.
Okay, so yeah, it's that one, because to get Dark Moon Blade...
Okay, so miracles for you.
Yeah, you had to turn in 30 of the Proof of a Concord kept for the Blade of the Dark Moon Covenant, and yeah, we just had to farm the Silver Knights for them, and that was easily the worst part of farming and grinding and everything, so yeah, that is definitely the least fun achievement. And it was all solo, and like I said, like the main thing I enjoyed about this was playing it with you, so just fighting the same two Silver Knights for several hours by myself was the least fun part of the game, for sure.
I think the same for me, again, with the miracles, for reasons that I already stated with rings. Just don't ever put in an equivalent to the Dark Moon Covenant, or if you do, nerf the hell out of them. Like, come on, FromSoft, come on, Miyazaki, I'm talking to you. Like, Miyazaki's gonna hear this, he's gonna go, you know what? He's right, we were wrong.
He's right, let's patch in some new achievements in Dark Souls 3, let's up the drop rates. Please.
Let's put in more achievements in Elden Ring around expression.
Yes. Wait, no, I've already 100%ed of that one.
So have I.
No, still at it.
We're gonna do it again.
We'll do it again, yay.
Also, I do want to say, because I forgot to mention this at the top of the episode, for the Dark Souls series specifically, we went in and erased all achievements that we'd had previously and got them all from scratch. Yeah,
that's a good point, because I think Dark Souls 1, like, we'll get to that in future episodes, I'm sure. I think I was only missing, 4 achievements, and then we just reset it to, 0%.
Yeah, so with all of our Souls games, and I'll, state in every episode because people will forget, we did use Steam Achievement Manager to reset all of our achievements and got every single one of them, so none of them are from previous play.
Yes, that's a good point, yeah. That's what makes this episode quite unique, is the previous episodes, we've just played games in our spare time individually and then come to talk about them, whereas this one, we sat down together to do the whole thing. We made sure we started completely from scratch for the achievements. So yeah, this one's quite different from like our usual episodes, I guess.
Mm-hmm. Now, going back to the unoriginality of the achievements, out of all the bosses that had achievements tied to them, which did you enjoy the most, and which were kind of like blasé, and which ones were fun, like most and least fun?
Okay, so most fun. I've definitely mentioned my favorite boss before. I don't know. Do you remember my favorite boss in Dark Souls 3?
If I remember correctly, it's Pontiff Sulla.
That is my least favorite boss in Dark Souls
What?
3. I hate Pontiff
Is it
Sulla.
Dancer?
Yeah, Dancer is my favorite boss.
But like you got so proud when you parried him.
I know, it was so cool.
And I swear to God, you at one point said he was your favorite boss.
No, he's the boss I've always struggled the most with. So we'll get to him in another little category here. But yeah, Dancer of the Boreal Valley is my favorite boss in Dark Souls 3. I think it's a very fun boss. It's quite like a fast-paced one. You have to be quite reactionary. And I remember when the game first came out and the community, the population of the game was thriving. I was doing a faith build, a faith lightning build on just another character. And I wanted to get I think it's like Great Lightning Spear or something, which is from trading in 30 sunlight medals. And I didn't farm them or anything. I didn't play the game with people, like play through it with friends, like our other playthroughs. Yeah. So I put my sign down outside of Dancer, and I co-opted Dancer successfully 30 times to get all the medals, and unsuccessfully probably many more times. So
man, you could have been a proto. Let me solo
her. Yeah,
if you just kept going.
Honestly, yeah, I think I don't know why I decided to do Dancer. I think I was just at the level range I would be quite good at Dancer. I know some people find her quite difficult. I'm lucky that I find her quite a manageable boss. And yeah, it's just a boss I've fought many, many times. I got very good at it. So yeah, it's a very fun boss fight for me. What's
I think go ahead.
What's your most fun boss fight?
Honestly, I think it's gotta be Champion Gundyr. Partly because, you fight him in the beginning and you're like, okay, kind of a pushover. But then when you go to the optional area especially, and you're like, hang on, he's back. And then he's got just a better moveset. He's fun to work around. And just seeing, I'm not gonna lie, seeing Chris get kicked in the face and you just constantly, at least in our early series, always get caught off guard by that elbow strike that he does.
I still get caught by the shoulder strike.
Just seeing that, because like you knew it was coming, I knew it was coming. I was like, John, get out of the way. I know you can do this, and then just bam,
it comes out of nowhere.
He drops down. He football charges you, man.
I don't know. I never see the tell for that move for some reason.
Oh man. So that to me, he's got a lot of good memories. He's a good solid fight, and I don't think he's as ridiculous as some of the other fights.
Yeah, that's a good point. I do like that, you walk into his arena, you're like, hang on, this is the tutorial boss, and he's like,
yeah,
psych, I'm gonna just boot you in the face.
Yeah, just his straight Spartan kick to the face is always so much fun.
And it's nice that he's like the same model, but he has a completely different moveset.
Mm-hmm.
He's not just like a harder version of the exact tutorial boss. He is a different boss.
Elder and cough.
Yeah, honestly.
Anyway, that's a future episode. We're just dropping all sorts of hints here.
Yeah, Dark Souls 1. What?
What? Sekiro what?
What? No.
What was your least favorite boss, John?
The least fun boss, I think. I kind of went back and forth on this one because I think there's a couple of kind of crappy bosses. Yeah. I was torn between Deacons because I think they're like just kind of a meh boss, but
they are very middle. Like, yeah,
they are. But I went for Crystal Sage.
Oh,
because
I'm kind of surprised by that.
Really?
Yeah,
I don't know. I just
always seem to have fun with him.
I don't know. It's just not a very fun boss. Its first phase is you basically just like stand next to it and attack, and it shoots things into the sky, and you just like move a couple of feet to your right and just keep attacking. And then its second phase is just hiding behind pillars and hoping you don't get one shot by the blue crystal beams coming at you.
That's true. He's very much like he's a glass cannon boss.
Yeah, he is.
Which I mean, you also play glass cannon builds, so it was
maybe that's why I don't like
probably.
it. He's taking my gimmick.
Yeah.
Yeah, that's the least fun boss for me, I think.
Man, see, I went a totally different area. I went with Wolnir.
Okay, he is also
'Cause,
not
like,
a fun boss.
well, and like the thing with Wolnir is you hit the glowy bits, or if you run over too close to his like body, quote unquote, you just die in the poison fog that you can't see sometimes
That's true.
because his arena's just so dark. Like it's just such a low quality fight because his two moves are, or no, sorry, his four moves are he's gonna raise his hand and bring it down. He's gonna shove you out of the way. He's gonna breathe poison fog. Sorry, five moves. He's gonna rush you and kill you with poison fog, or he's gonna throw black flame, and that's it.
I don't
Like
think
there's nothing creative about him.
he has a sword, but then he just like
Oh yeah, he does.
smacks it down like he does with his fist. Yeah.
Honestly, I don't notice the difference between the sword and his hand most of the time.
No,
I'm just
honestly.
like, oh, he just slapped a mosquito.
Yeah,
like,
there's
that's
no
it.
difference. Yeah, I love that you mentioned he does Black Flame because I don't think I've ever been hit by his Black Flame in my entire history of Dark Souls 3.
Right?
It's like the most
And,
useless move.
You don't notice it's there half the time.
No, you don't.
And the other thing that really bothers me about Wolner is his hitboxes are absolute garbage. When his hand can be 3 feet below the ground, how am I supposed to hit his bracelet, huh?
True. And also, like, you can, like, hit, like, his, like, the tip of his finger, and it'll still count as hitting the bracelets.
Wait, what? I didn't know this.
Yeah, you can just hit his hand, and it counts as the bracelet.
What is this garbage?
I don't know. Yeah, you're right on Wolnir.
Oh, man. I wish I knew that earlier.
Yeah, I don't know. He's a very... There's a lot of quite easy bosses in Dark Souls 3, but he's still annoying.
So speaking of which, what is the easiest boss for you?
Easiest boss for me, I said, was Vort of the Boreal Valley.
All right, that's fair.
You know,
that's
a bit of a, maybe sort of a test for new players, but I don't know, I guess I'm ranking these from the perspective of when we did all achievements, and I don't know if you know this about me, but I quite like Dark Souls speedruns.
I didn't know that.
Okay, I'm a big fan of those. So I've probably watched another, 100+ hours of Dark Souls 3 speedruns.
Oh god.
So like I've seen professional speedrunners fight a lot of these bosses over and over, and once you see the Vort strategy, he is just the easiest boss in the world. Like when you know to roll with his dashes, and then you end up right behind him when he's about to do his frost breath, and you can just burst him down very easily. Yeah, he's a super easy boss. So he's easily the easiest for me.
See, and I went with Ancient Wyvern because yes, his area sucks. Yes, the stupid dragonkin around him suck. But the fact that you can jump attack his head from the ground, which not necessarily the easiest thing to do, the fact that that's even possible. I mean, not just the fact that he gets one shot.
Yes, the fact that he gets one shot.
He's meant to be a spectacle boss. But the fact that you can cheese that spectacle is what makes him super easy to me.
Yeah, I agree with that. Like, I'm sure the cheese wasn't intended for him, unlike Ceaseless.
That's fair.
But yeah, like, if you discount his area, he's absolutely the easiest. If you only count him as when you're above him and you plunge him and you first hit him and he's dead, then yeah, he's a super easy boss.
Yeah. I mean, his area trolls you, but he not so much. Outside of his fire breath, which you're gonna notice, but you're not gonna get hit by like 95% of the time.
Yeah, I like how in a lot of the mods, like the Cinders mod and the Ascendancy mod or something like that, they change the Wyvern fight, so you just actually fight him. You don't have to do the run. You just fight him while he's on the ground, which is pretty cool.
Oh, so how does that look? Like, do you still have to run around and do the drop on him?
No, you just attack his feet. They just lower his health a bit, and I think make him like a bit more aggressive or something. Yeah, so he's just...
It also spawned our famous dragon wrangling meme.
Dragon wrangling, which we still mention to this day.
Absolutely.
Dragon wrangling.
So, from a joke gimmick boss to your hardest boss, who's taken that spot?
I think he's my personal hardest boss.
Oh man, you're really gonna go with like the discount General Grievous?
Yeah, Sullivan. I mean, I think I get him now, but he was the Dark Souls 3 boss that it took me the longest to really wrap my head around and figure out how to fight him. There was just so many so many of my previous characters where I would just get like roadblocked on him, and I'd always have to summon for him. But now I can do it. But yeah, he's always been a very, very difficult boss for me.
Oh,
I don't know what it is exactly. I think he's got like huge range, you know, like he swings those two swords around like crazy.
Yeah, no, that's fair. And his dual typing, you know, because he's a Pokemon, does mean you have to keep on your toes defensively.
True. And then, you know, when he summons like his clone. That any boss fight where like I'm outnumbered, I always really struggle with actually.
I mean, yeah, gank fights can be pretty tough.
Yeah.
Huh. Well, I went in a slightly different direction. I also went with a semi-gank fight. I went with Nameless King because for me, I genuinely have more trouble with the first phase than I do with the second phase. Killing his dragon bird thing is such a pain in the ass.
Yeah.
Like, getting to his head without him flying away, without him breathing fire, especially when he breathes fire straight down, and it'll knock me over. And then, even if I don't touch the controller, my guy still gets up and he's in range of the fire, and I'm just dead. Like, it's just an instant kill.
Yeah. Yeah, I agree. Speaking of the fire, like, I can't believe you taught me, like, how to avoid being killed by that, where he's breathing down.
Yeah, if you're on the outs, if you're far enough out and knocks you down, just don't move your controller, don't press a button. Your guy will lay there for as long as he can, and then if you're lucky, you'll get up when the fire hitbox is passed.
Yeah, I never knew that. I would always, like, roll instinctively, because I do that whenever I'm, like, knocked down, and I would always die to it. I'd be like, this is bullshit.
You recreate your hitbox.
Yeah.
Yeah, if you're on the ground, as long as you're on the edge of the fire, if you're in the middle of it, it'll still kill you. But if you're near the edge of it, because as far as I understand it, the later part of the fire, the hitbox doesn't go as far out. Like, it doesn't all just go out to the same radius. It kind of peters off.
Oh, I see. That makes sense.
That's why if you're on the edge and it knocks you down, just stay down, and then you'll get up. In theory, you'll get up when it's safe.
Yeah, that's such a great tip. It made fighting him a lot easier.
And the second phase is just more of like a normal human fight in one of these games.
Yeah. Yeah, just
with a
he's
bit
quite
of range
tanky.
Yeah.
Yeah, I totally agree about the first phase. It does feel quite random whether you succeed or not. It just depends on how much he's in the air, how much he's running away from you.
And where his head decides to move in when he's on the ground.
Yeah. Like I guess when he does like he shoots the fire out in kind of a wave when he's on the ground, and he just like turns his head to the side. That's a very easy point to get to attack him, but you never know when he's going to pull that attack out, so you can be running around from him, away from him for quite a long time before you can actually do damage to him. So yeah, it is.
Yeah,
it's just totally random whether you use up, 2/3 of your healing on the King of the Storm phase and have nothing left for Nameless King, or if you use one charge and kill him really easily in the first phase.
Not to mention his boss arena is just terribly designed because you don't know where the walls are. It looks like a totally open space, but then that leaves you more space to run around, more space for him to run around, but you don't know when you're going to hit the edge.
Does it have like invisible walls? I don't think I've ever noticed.
I think it's so big you're not going to find them.
Okay.
Unless you're really trying, but that's also a problem because if you're running away in a particular direction and you just don't, pay attention, you could potentially run into one of those walls.
Mm-hmm.
Or you just run so far away from him that you're never going to get back to him before he kills you.
True. Yeah. Yeah, he's and the camera. The camera is so hard to control in the first
camera,
phase.
Final boss of any Dark Souls game.
Honestly. Yeah, I agree with that. That's a hard boss.
It is.
Even just Nameless King by himself is a hard boss.
Yeah. You know what else is hard?
You didn't stop me.
I debated stopping. I'm going to see if he does it.
Well, I did it.
I was going to say having to pick our least and most favorite covenants.
I think this is quite easy, actually.
Well, I think most is easy. Like our favorite is easy. Our most despised might be harder.
I guess, yeah, there's a couple. Yeah, okay, I think favorite, we're probably going to be on the same page for this.
I think so, too.
It's got to be Warrior of Sunlight.
Gotta be Warrior of Sunlight. Praise the sun, bro.
Sun bros.
Sun bros for life.
It's super easy if you're doing the all achievements with a friend, like we were. You don't have to do anything special for this achievement. You will just get probably like at least twice as many sunlight medals that you actually need.
Oh, absolutely.
Because you only need 30. I'm sure if I logged on, I'd probably still have like 40 in my inventory or something like that.
After spending 30 of them for a miracle.
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah. Well, and the nice thing too is if you're a Sunbro and you're whoever you're summoning or being summoned by is a Sunbro, you'll get a medal for each of them.
Yeah, that's true. So yeah,
you can literally double your rate. And even if you're a Sunbro, you can just be summoned to help random people, whatever boss, like Jon did with Dancer, whatever boss you're most comfortable with, and you can just farm them up that way.
It's true. Yeah, it's a really, really solid covenant. And I think it's Lothric Knights actually drop the medals as well if you want to farm offline.
Those aren't a terrible thing to kill. Those are okay, but I don't know. The offline farming is just a little leaves a bad taste in the mouth.
Bit of a sore spot for you right now.
It'll be a bit of a sore spot for me forever.
That's fair. Yeah. So yeah, that's definitely the favorite.
Speaking of the sore spots, and I'm not talking about Jon's, what.
Whoa.
What is your least favorite covenant?
Least favorite for me had to be Blade of the Dark Moon, just because
right.
I distinctly remember farming the covenant items from those Silver Knights. I think we had to do 3 farming sessions from like different enemies, and this one definitely took me the longest. It was the hardest. You could still die because they're Silver Knights. Like doing the other farming were always like very, very safe, very risk-free. But yeah, farming the Silver Knights, you had to still be quite on your toes, which is kind of hard to do after 7 hours or whatever of the same 2 enemies.
Oh, it was mind-numbing.
Yeah, honestly.
I think for me, least favorite is anything that involves player versus player competitive. So like anything where you had to kill another player.
Right.
I just hated. Like, was it Rosaria's Fingers or Mound Makers that we did where we would summon in the other person and then the other person, we would just jump off a cliff?
I'd forgotten about that.
Rosaria's Fingers, right? Or was it Ultra Faithful?
Aldrich Faithful was farming.
Right, okay, so I think it was Rosaria's Fingers then.
I think so. I don't remember. I think Mound Makers maybe was also farming. I can't really remember. Or maybe you got enough. I think you could find enough in the world per new game playthroughs.
Per new, yeah. So that Mound Makers, you could just find in the world, so you didn't have to farm for that one in that same sense.
Yeah, so Rosaria's Fingers.
Like, Rosaria's Fingers, like I said, I would summon Jon or Jon would summon me, and then whoever, or rather, I would invade Jon or Jon would invade me, and then whoever got invaded would just jump off a cliff, and that would count towards the invader getting a covenant item. So, yes, with another player, it's super easy, but if you don't have another player to help you out, and you're genuinely fighting random people, if they're still playing Dark Souls 3, chances are they're not playing it casually.
True.
Like, they are there competitively, they are there for the PvP, and they will kill you.
Yeah, because I think the best way to get those is by like using the red sign soapstone, which is where another player can choose to summon you as an invader instead of you trying to like forcefully invade someone else's world. So if someone's choosing to summon you as an invader, chances are you're gonna be in for a pretty hard time.
Yeah.
So yeah, if we didn't have each other to just cheese that covenant pretty much, yeah, it would have absolutely sucked.
If we didn't have each other to get through life,
it would have absolutely sucked.
Okay, so I'm going to move on to our rarest achievement, and technically, obviously, this one's shared between the two of us. The rarest achievement, outside of getting all achievements, is Master of Rings.
Yeah.
Jon, why do you think that is?
I think because I think Master of Rings was like the main achievement that required the 3 separate playthroughs.
Yeah, because you had to get the +2 ring in New Game +2.
Yeah, because I think it's like some of like in the DLC you get plus. Oh no, the DLC items don't count, do they?
No.
So yeah, you had to get.
You could get +3 rings in the DLC, but that still didn't count towards the achievement.
Right. So yeah, you had to get all the rings possible in New Game 1, which is including like all the Covenant items and stuff. Then you had to go through and get a bunch more rings in New Game Plus to get the +1 variants. Even though not every ring has a +1 variant, so you have to be very careful which ones you're getting. And then New Game +2, you had to go get all the +2 variants, which was more than the +1 variants. So yeah, I think it's probably like the furthest you have to go in the game in terms of multiple playthroughs and how far you have to go into the last playthrough. So I think that's
Mhm.
probably why not many people have it.
That's fair. I think honestly, one of the things that holds it back is the Dark Moon Covenant. Like genuinely, because, and I think covenants in general. I don't remember if others gave you a ring, but I think covenants have been a big sticking point for a lot of members of the community. Like, I'm not a particular fan of them, and I'm sure a lot of people aren't.
Yeah.
So to lock away things like rings and whatnot behind a covenant that often required PvP or, as we've said time and time again, massive amounts of farming that's just not the greatest, you're going to roadblock a lot of players.
Yeah. Yeah, I think that's a good point. Yeah, like you had to do 10 of the Blade of the Dark Moon items for a ring. You had to do 30 of the Watchdogs of Farron for a ring. So yeah, it
Mhm.
is a lot of farming if you want to get all the rings as well.
Also, not gonna lie, 30 of the Watchdogs is actually easier than 10 of the Dark Moon.
Honestly, yeah, it probably is.
Just because you can kill them so much quicker.
Yeah. I also think, like we said, Master of Rings takes multiple new game playthroughs of the same character. Like, you can't get that achievement from doing one playthrough with one character and then starting a second character. It all has to be on the same character.
Mhm.
And I know, I'm sure there's quite a lot of people like me who just don't do New Game Plus with their characters. I like starting completely fresh with a new character.
Yeah, and I think it's also harder because it's not like an Elden Ring where you can just respec it almost any time. You have to stick relatively with the build that you started out with.
Yeah. Did you say like how many, like the percentage for that one?
Oh, actually, I didn't. I knew the percentage at one point, but
That's okay. It's 4.4% of players have Master of Rings,
man, that's just oof,
which is
not even
interesting
5%.
because 3.6% have all achievements.
Wait, how is that even possible?
I guess.
Oh wait, no, sorry, 3.6. Yeah, sorry, I mixed those up in my head for a second.
But
I was like,
no,
how do people have all achievements without having the Master of Rings?
but I mean, what kind of person goes through all the effort of getting all the rings but doesn't get all achievements?
Yeah.
That's interesting. I thought those would be very, very close.
Hmm.
Interesting.
Yeah, no, that is weird. Like,
Yeah.
what kind of psychopath goes out of the way to get the rings and then just doesn't get the rest of them?
Yeah. That's really weird.
Huh. That man, people are crazy.
People are crazy. People are weird.
People are very, very weird. Okay, so moving on from that insanity, what was the most memorable achievement for you, and why did it leave such an impression?
So the most memorable achievement for me was to link the first flame, which is getting the linking the first flame ending, which I guess is like the basic ending.
Yeah.
But I distinctly remember it was also the final ending we did. We did the other two endings in New Game Plus, or sorry, New Game and New Game Plus. And so
I think
this,
because they required more work,
yeah, because you had
and so we
to,
decided to do them on an easier difficulty.
yeah, that's right. Yeah, we did like Yoel's ending and stuff in the first one because it just
Mhm.
took a bit more. But yeah, so this was the last ending we did, and I guess it made an impression on me. Not story wise, because obviously I've seen the endings many times.
Yeah.
But because it was the final ending we did, it meant that we were just about finished this journey that had taken 40 hours of in-game time, probably 2 or 3 months of real time. So it was impactful in that way because it was the final ending.
Hmm. That's fair. I think, and I've talked about this one previously, obviously. I think Master of Expression, again, for the personality and individuality it gives to the NPCs, really left a mark on me. And just
Yeah.
the amount of fun that we've had with using different gestures to just do stupid things is just too good.
Oh yeah, like the amount of times old El Wando would go, "Hey." I use that achievement so much, or sorry, that expression.
Yeah, or
Hey.
yeah, or just like blocking off different areas to to stop them from getting into the boss room, just doing whatever, just because we control.
Yeah, somebody walks into like a jail cell in Irithyll or whatever, and you just like do
He's like, no, I'm gonna sit down right here.
yeah, you do the Sigurd to sleep one right outside, right in the doorway. Yeah, I agree. It is. They are pretty fun.
And you know what? I understand why you chose the ending you did. I don't know. Like, the endings to me are just, we've seen them so many
Yeah,
times
we have.
that I don't know. I was more, I think, just exhausted by the end of it than you were.
Yeah, I think you got a little bit worn down by some of it. I think
Yeah.
I thoroughly enjoyed the entire process for some reason.
Hmm.
Even the farming, like I remember just putting on like podcasts and like new albums and listening to records and stuff. I was having a pretty decent time with it.
Fair enough.
Whereas I think you hated it. You just wanted to get it over with.
I I think a lot of that was because it came down to covenant farming.
Yeah, so sorry, that's
Like,
what I
near the
meant.
end.
Like just the
Yeah.
farming is what you wanted to get over
Mhm.
with.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Absolutely. So, is there an achievement you would remove from the game, and why?
Uh yeah, I think so. Like we talked about how like kind of uninspired some of the achievements were.
Yeah.
The one I said I would remove from the game. I mean, I wouldn't really remove one, but I think like the one that least belongs is Master of Infusion, which is where you perform all the forms of different weapon infusions, like
Mhm.
making a lightning weapon, making a fire weapon. Um,
Yeah.
I just thought this one, like it's very meaningless to your character build. Like
Yeah. Yeah,
like
that's fair.
we chose sharp twin blades, right? We infused our twin blades with sharp, and that was all the infusing we really needed to do for our build. But we still had to go make like a fire dagger and a lightning shield or something like that. It just felt kind of meaningless and like a bit of a waste of time.
Yeah, no, that's fair. I think the part of the problem too with, again, uninspired achievements is that so many of them are just kind of, they're busy work. So,
Yeah,
like, with infusions, you just, I took I think I took like a pickaxe and infused with either dark or bleeding. It's like, I'm never gonna use this. I don't care
exactly.
about this. I'm doing it for the achievement.
Exactly, yeah.
I think I would take out, uh, honestly, probably, yeah, Master Infusions, just because, at least with the sorceries, the pyromancies, and the miracles, which unfortunately all doesn't have to be all in one character, but like, it kind of doesn't make sense not to.
They
They
do
at
have to be
least
on
still
one
serve.
character.
Wait, dude, no, like, each one, like, each category can be on a different character.
Oh, I see. Yes, yeah, yeah.
Yeah, it's not like we have to get all of them on the exact same character.
Right. I thought you meant you
That
could
would
get
be
like 40 spells on one character and then one spell on another character.
that would be nice, but no, unfortunately
No,
not.
unfortunately.
But yeah, I think I gotta agree with just the lack of utility in Master Infusions.
Yeah, it really did feel like you were just like, yeah, there's my dark weapon, check. There's my hard weapon, check. Yeah.
Yeah, I bet you have a hard weapon.
Oh, yeah, I've mentioned it on this very podcast.
We're gonna be censoring it.
No, what? Now people aren't gonna know I said. They're gonna think I said something really weird, like.
That's the whole point.
God damn it.
So, okay, this one slightly relates. Do you feel that covenants should have achievements related to them in the game?
Um, yes.
Okay.
I I mean, the Covenant achievements outside of the weapons, outside of like the rings and the spells and everything, they're very easy to get. It's literally just discovering the Covenants. I know this would be really, really hard, and it would make getting all achievements even harder. But I almost wish there was achievements for maxing out each Covenant.
Hmm. See, yeah, I'm inclined to agree in the sense that, yes, I feel they should be in there, but I feel there should be more to them. Maybe not necessarily maxing them out, but like, I feel like there should be something attached to the way that each one operates that would give you an achievement.
Right.
But I don't know what that would look like.
I mean, if we went off that, then like the PvP ones would be like kill 10 players in a duel, and I would hate that.
God, that's true. Oh no.
Yeah, so
That'd
no,
be
I like
awful.
the idea of having to max out all the covenants, and like it would suck having to do them because some of the covenants we only had to get to rank 1 instead of rank 2, which is just 10 items instead of 30. So it would have added some to the playtime, but I don't know. It does feel kind of meh that you only get an achievement for discovering it, and then you don't have to do anything else with the covenant theoretically.
At least for those achievements.
Yeah.
For other ones, you do.
Yes. I don't know. What do you feel
Yeah.
about covenants having achievements attached to them?
I'm okay with it, but again, I want to do more with it. I just don't know what that would look like. That
Yeah,
wouldn't turn into kill 10 players or do like this specific thing. I just wish there was more to the covenants in general as opposed to just like I'm purple, I'm gold, I'm blue, you know.
yeah.
Like it really doesn't change as much as it could or doesn't affect the game as much as it could.
It's true. Like I go through most playthroughs not touching most of the covenants.
Yeah, we just become Sunbros just cuz that's the thing you do.
Yeah, like Way of Blue. Have you ever been summoned to help another player?
I think once, but I wasn't in the way of Blue Covenant.
Oh, I see.
It summoned me anyway. Because there
Amazing.
wasn't anyone playing Way of Blue.
Right. Yeah, it's like the Medeir Covenant, was it the Spear of the Church, where you get to be Half-Light. Because
Yeah.
so few
Oh,
people kill Medeir and have the Covenant, they ended up just summoning anybody in the area to be Half-Light instead of people who are specifically in the Covenant.
okay, spin-off question. Do you feel that the Half-Light Covenant should have had an achievement attached to it, separate from the achievement for killing from Midir, if there was one?
Well, I mean, like Medeir drops the Covenant item, so it would be hard to separate them.
Okay, if there was... Hmm.
But yes, I guess
If there was a separate, like, addition to having to kill Midir to get into the Covenant.
yeah, like if you had to go up to like a statue and say like join Covenant. Yeah,
Oh god, there's a few of those.
yeah, honestly, but yeah, like if they had that, yeah, I do think there should be DLC achievements. There should be an achievement for all the bosses. There should be an achievement for joining Spear of the Church.
Alright.
Yeah,
Yeah, I think that's fair, just to give it a little more weight and give people a reason to do it.
yeah, because yeah, like
Okay,
when we did it, I think we chose to do the DLC in our first playthrough just because we wanted to get as many levels as possible
mhm.
before we went to New Game Plus. But after New Game, we didn't touch the DLC in any of the future playthroughs.
Yeah, no, it was just kind of breezed right past it because there was nothing to gain for us.
Yeah, and I think we skipped Medeir even when we did
Yeah, we did.
the DLC in New Game.
Yeah, because he's better than Melania in many ways, but also in some ways worse because he's almost more restrictive in what builds you can go up against him and like comfortably win.
Yeah, I don't know. Millennia is pretty restrictive as well.
Yeah, but I don't know. She's a different kind of bad.
Yeah, yeah, they're both not ideal.
No,
But still, I wouldn't mind if he had an achievement.
that's fair.
I wonder what they'll
So,
do with the Elden Ring DLC. Like, I
oh
wonder
yeah,
if
with the Badlands DLC or whatever it's gonna be called.
I wonder if they'll add achievements for it, because obviously, like, this is a much more played game than Dark Souls. Like Dark
Yeah.
Souls 3, even though it's the biggest game, was still like quite niche. Elden Ring is pretty
Mhm.
mainstream, so I wonder if they'll,
I don't think they will.
really. I think people would be kind of upset about that.
I don't think FromSoft cares.
You know what? That's a very good point.
You know, they've developed their niche that kept them going for a while, and now that Elden Ring's blown up, they can get back to doing what they were doing before. They kind of had to fixate themselves on Dark Souls or the Souls genre,
Hmm.
like they did. Oh, we could see Ninja Blade 2. We could see Ninja
Yes.
Blade remake for all we know. We could, there's obviously talks of Armored Core. I just feel like they're in a less restricted position than what they were, to the point where they would, care, quote unquote, about what the general public thinks about whether or not they put in achievements related to the DLC.
Right. Yeah, that's fair. Yeah, you're right. I don't think they'll care.
So, how many times did we play this through and through to get everything?
It took 3 playthroughs, but
I thought it was like 2.5.
Two and a
I thought
half.
You didn't actually have to finish your last one.
well, there's
Or-
3
no.
endings, weren't there?
Yeah, oh yeah, so yeah, you did have to get 3.
Yeah, we must have. I remember.
Huh.
I think it was New Game Plus. It was like the shortest playthrough. You just grabbed a few rings and beelined to the end of the game.
Right.
So yeah, like sort of 2.5 if you like don't count doing everything. But yeah, you had to finish the game 3 times on one character.
Yeah.
Yeah.
That's okay. Yeah. I think you're right with 3. So, do you think the game like actually rewards you for getting all achievements, or is it just more the personal satisfaction?
100% just the personal satisfaction. Like you get nothing in the game for getting all achievements.
Yeah, I kind of wish there was just a little something. I don't know what they would have done. Like maybe just a little badge on your character or something. I don't know.
I just think like a specific item, like a an armor set or a weapon or something. Nothing that would be tied to the achievements, but something unique you could get.
Hmm.
Because like Dark Souls 2 has 2 rings that you can get from. One is for beating the game without dying, and one is for beating the game without resting at a bonfire.
Yeah.
And so, like, I mean, they're not even tied to the achievements. Like, we won't have to get those rings when we do our achievements, but that's just something unique. Like a unique little reward for playing the game in a specific way, which is basically what getting all achievements is playing a game in a very specific way.
Yeah, that's true.
Yeah, there was just nothing. So yeah, it's definitely, for me, it's just being able to say, yes, I finally got all achievements in this game that I've played so much.
See, and I wouldn't even mind, like, along with an armor set or, like, something visual, even having something on your character profile or that appeared by your name, to say, like, magician or something like that based around specific achievements.
Right. Yeah, like a title or something.
Yeah.
Yeah, I'm not sure how I feel about that.
A little too MMO for you?
Yeah, maybe a little bit, yeah.
That's fair. So what did you find the most rewarding out of all these achievements outside of getting, the one for getting all of them?
Well, you might have to go first on this one because I put getting all of them.
Well, that's awkward. I put getting all miracles because the number of NPCs and different things you have to find just feels more organic than the pyromancies, which are all kind of located around the central area or finding the pyromancy tomes. And it just there's a lot more variety to the sorceries than there is to the pyromancies.
That's fair, yeah. Like
which I used a couple of actually.
Yeah, I forgot. Like we I think in New Game Plus or something, we decided to start using all the weapon buffing spells.
Mm-hmm.
So like by the end, we had like magic weapon, lightning weapon, fire weapon, dark weapon on our hotbar, and we would just like cycle through the different like spell buffs to choose whatever was better for the boss.
Yeah, I just felt like it had some of the most like proper, how do I put this, tangible impact in the playthrough.
Yeah, I kind of get that. Like, yeah, it's pyromancies is kind of weird because like so many of them are just tied to the demon ruins area.
Yeah.
Whereas like the miracles and prayer books and stuff you would find all over the place.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, I'd probably agree with that. Like one of those, especially if they weren't as tied to the Covenant items, if they were
cough,
easier
cough,
to
miracles,
get.
Cough, cough.
Yeah, yeah, miracles has got to be the worst one, I think. But yeah, like sorceries or something like that.
All right, that's fair. Now, how many guides didn't we end up using like 2 or 3 guides for this?
We used two for Dark Souls 1.
Right.
Dark Souls 3 had the best guide ever.
Oh, right. It was the super detailed one.
Super detailed. It's so well laid out. So easy to follow.
It would be linked in the description down below for anyone. I do not recommend doing this without the guide. Like, use the guide.
Absolutely.
Put away your pride, or else you will spend hours upon hours looking for it.
Yeah, totally agreed. Yeah. It's a really good guide. And it's like it's visually a nice guide,
Mm-hmm.
Like you can scroll down and like very easily see the information you need. It's like it's color coded, it's bolded text and everything. Yeah, really good.
It's really well organized.
Yeah. And I remember like when we did Dark Souls 1 after this, because I think we did it like right away, we were a little bit taken aback that we couldn't find like an equivalent guide that was as good as the Dark Souls 3 one. I think we
could never find one by the same person.
Yeah, and I think we just ended up using 2 separate guides, and we just kind of like used bits of each of them to get what we needed. But yeah, nothing is as good as this one. This was really good.
Yeah, no, it was a lot of fun and made it so much easier.
Yeah.
So has this changed the way you look at the game, and do you regret going through all of this?
I don't think it's changed the way I look at the game. I guess like I think before I did it, I would see posts on the Dark Souls 3 subreddit, and it would just be like a screenshot of like just someone on the Anor Londo steps, and it would be like, if you know, you know. And like, I guess now I know the pain of trying to farm those Covenant items.
Yeah.
But like before we did this, I think I was only missing like 5 or 6 achievements or something. Um, this is a game that I've done practically everything in, except for new game pluses. So it wasn't too much new stuff for me. It didn't really change the way I played the game much. Um, and do I regret it? No, not at all. I loved it. I had a great time with it.
That's fair.
What about you?
See. I did regret it at the time, just because of all that farming just killed me. But looking back on it, I'm more than happy that I did it. I'm more than happy who I had by my side doing it. And I don't think it changed the way I look at the game, but it helped me start on a journey that I think has lasted us 4 months, will last us for months longer, and it I don't know, it's given me an outlet by which I know I can keep going with certain friendships and relationships. Like, it's given me another, I don't want to say excuse, but another reason to, hop on Facebook, hop on Discord, give you a message like, hey, we should play this. And it's led into so many other things, as will be up by the time this episode is up. We'll have the Pokemon Gym Lock first episode out. We're going to play that all the way through. We might play a bit of Outriders. And it's just, I think it's really helped open up different avenues for me to discuss with you and other friends who will be on later episodes about something that I've never really tapped into before. Something that I didn't know they had a passion for until I decided, hey, have you ever gotten all achievements in the games? And their eyes lit up. They couldn't stop talking about these games. And I knew from the moment that I finished Dark Souls 3 with you that it was going to be a hell of a journey to go forward, and I was excited to take those steps.
Yeah, it's interesting you mention that, because I think it was the catalyst for us playing more games, just the two of us. Like, obviously, Chris has gotten much busier recently with new job and moving house and having a baby, so there's like less time for there's less time for the three of us to play games together. But I think before this, we didn't play that many games, just the two of us, and now after doing it, we've played a lot. We did that Demon Souls series where we're doing the Pokemon series you're talking about right now. Yeah, it's
there's gonna be so many links in this description. Oh god.
Oh no. Good luck remembering
I'll make
them all.
it work.
Yeah.
So, to close this off, would you recommend other people go for all achievements in this game, John?
Man, it's a tough sell, this one. It's a pretty tough one to recommend. Pretty much if you really like Dark Souls and you're okay with playing the same character over and over, sure. I don't know, like it's hard. Like we said, you have to follow a guide very, very closely. You have to really commit. You have to make sure you've done everything before you go into the new game cycles. It's a little bit stressful. It's a little bit worrying, having to make sure you don't miss anything. It's it's definitely not as easy a recommend as previous or entries, I would say.
Yeah, that's fair.
What do you think?
I'm gonna say if you genuinely love this game, and if you have one or two people to do it with, go for it. Like, you can have so much fun. Caveat: when the servers are back up, not when they're down, because obviously those other people aren't gonna help.
Yeah.
But I think if you have, again, one or two people that you're comfortable with, that you get along with, that love this game as much or more than you do, you'll have a great time. On your own, absolutely not.
Yeah, I think that's fair. Yeah, you do kind of need the other person. And I do also think, like, just one other person is probably the sweet spot. I know, like, bosses' health pools are the easiest they are with just 2 players. If you've got 3 players, they're a bit harder.
Yeah, that's fair.
So yeah, if you do it, try and do it with at least one, with like ideally just one other person.
Yeah. So it, like you said, it's a hard sell. It's a hard one to recommend without the right circumstances. But I think it's one of those ones where everyone gets like between 70 to 90% of the way through in terms of achievements, and then just kind of stops.
Yeah, that was definitely me.
That. Yeah, exactly. And like, so many people just make a new character, or they they don't go into New Game Plus because there's really not any benefit to it.
Yeah, or like even if they do go into New Game Plus, like chances are they have not farmed 30 of those Covenant items in New Game.
Mm-hmm.
So they're always going to be missing, one or two rings or something, so they'll never get that achievement.
Yeah, that's fair.
Yeah.
Okay. So, for the question of the episode, which will be on the end of episodes for a special like this, given we don't really have a good midpoint to break from, I want to ask you, the audience, and you, John, is there a single player based achievement that isn't bugged or broken in a game that stopped you dead in your tracks from getting all achievements?
Absolutely. I'm sure that there's many, but I've got two very recent examples.
Oh no.
Yeah, Outriders, a game that you just mentioned. I recently finished playing through it. Took a look at the achievements, and there were a couple of achievements related to a specific game mode called Expeditions, which I just had absolutely no interest in playing. I never once touched that game mode, and since there were achievements tied to it, I thought I would rather just not get all achievements instead of doing the game mode I didn't want to play. Cool. So absolutely, it's just if there's achievements related to a game mode I'm not interested in, I just won't do them.
I mean, that's fair. That's fair.
Yeah.
Says the guy who got multiplayer victories in Persona 4 Battle Royale Online.
It was one.
I thought it was two.
No, I played twice. I lost the first one and won the second one, and then I was done.
Right. Okay, what's your other achievement?
Oh, there was it's also just another game mode in the game Catherine Full Body. Catherine Classic, yeah. I guess. It's quite a tedious game mode. You have to do it's like 120 levels of this game mode that I didn't like. So I was just like, I'm definitely not doing that one.
Mm-hmm.
So yeah, it's just if it's tied to a game mode I don't like, I'm not doing it.
Huh.
Life's too short.
I mean, that's fair.
Yeah. What about you?
I'm trying to remember so this is going to be really, really sad, but the game is Captain America the First Avenger, Captain America Super Soldier, which I don't even remember when it came out, that I played on Xbox that I rented from Blockbuster, and I literally had 49 out of 50 achievements.
And
I think the last one was destroy all anti-aircraft cannons. I think I just couldn't find the last one. And before I had to return it to Blockbuster.
Oh no.
It wasn't like it was bugged or broken as far as I know. I just genuinely didn't have the time to finish it, and I didn't feel like renting it again for a whole week to just get this one achievement.
That's hilarious.
And that would have been my first ever game that I got all achievements for. It was a movie tie-in game.
Wow.
Based on Captain America.
That's incredible.
It was such a 3 out of 10 game.
Interesting. So it's just something you just didn't have time for was what stopped you.
Pretty
Not
much.
Something you specifically didn't want to do.
Yeah.
And
I mean, that's the one that comes to my mind first. I can't think. I'm sure there are other achievements that I'll talk about in later episodes that I just can't think of right now.
Yeah.
But that's the one that came to mind when I was making this question.
Yeah, that's fair. That's a good answer as well.
But anyway, thank you everyone so much for listening and or watching. All the links to John's channel, as well as every single playlist that we've mentioned, and there's a lot of them, will be linked down in the description below, as well as the guides. The YouTube link will be in the podcast, naturally. I hope you all enjoyed this, and we'll see you in the next one.
Bye.
Bye.